Well, for more than a year, the only espionage threat you've heard about is Russia, even though the worst thing anyone's pinned on Vladimir Putin so far is a handful of dopey Facebook ads that almost nobody saw. But just because the Russian threat is grotesquely overblown doesn't mean that foreign spying isn't a problem for us. It definitely is a problem. Chinese spying is the real problem. China is our main rival on the world stage. The Chinese government spies on us relentlessly, on our companies, on our military, on our government. Hundreds of thousands of Chinese nationals live in the United States. Most of them are harmless, but some large number of them are spies. In March of 2016, for example, a Chinese national pleaded guilty to helping hack the computer networks of major defense contractors. Data related to the C-17 strategic transport aircraft and the F-35 fighter jet was stolen and made its way back to China. And it's not the first time the Chinese have stolen vital military secrets. They've done it a lot. Their industrial espionage is, if anything, even more aggressive. Earlier this year, a Chinese wind turbine company, for example, was convicted of paying an engineer to steal secrets from an American manufacturer. And to add insult to injury, after stealing the information, the Chinese company then canceled $800 million in contracts. This is not uncommon. The U.S. Trade Representative estimates that the overall cost from China's theft of American intellectual property, industrial secrets, could reach $600 billion every single year. That's almost as much as all annual trade between this country and China. Chinese businesses are themselves a front for more conventional espionage, since major Chinese companies are, by definition, closely intertwined with the Communist Party and the Chinese military in many cases. Intelligence experts warn that the Chinese mobile phone company ZTE, for example, could easily begin spying on any American who owns their products were they allowed to expand their share of the U.S. market, as they're currently trying to do. And those are just cell phones. How about email and other electronic communications? Well, according to a high-level government source who spoke to us, the Chinese government already has direct or indirect control of much of the architecture of our domestic internet here in this country. If China wants to know what you're doing, they probably already can. How did that happen exactly? How did we get to this place? Well, slowly and intentionally on the part of China. Our leaders, meanwhile, were not paying attention to the Chinese threat. Some of them knew about it, but didn't care. They're getting very rich from China. Not coincidentally, some of these very same people are the ones now telling you that Russia is the biggest threat we face. It goes without saying that they're lying, and they know they're lying, but what they're really doing is trying to cover their tracks. Bill Gertz has been covering the threat from China longer than almost any other American journalist. He's a senior editor at the Washington Free Beacon and the author of I War, War and Peace in the Information Age. Bill Gertz joins us tonight. Bill, thanks for coming on.
Sure, good to be here.
So, give us a sense, if you can, and I know it's a complex topic, but give us a sense of the scale of Chinese spying on American industries, government, and our military.
Sure. It's a three-pronged threat. You have traditional spying. Right now in Alexandria, there are two ex-CIA officers who are under investigation or being prosecuted for spying-related activities in China. Then you have the cyber threat, and this is a massive theft of technology from both the government and the private sector. And then last are what they call the non-traditional collectors. That's the 350,000 Chinese students here, researchers, academics, and they're all working to gather as much a secret government, Chinese government-directed program to steal all the most modern technology. They're going after the cutting-edge stuff right now, artificial intelligence and quantum computing.
So who's mining the store? Who's protecting American industrial secrets and military data?
Well, it's the FBI's job to go after Chinese spies. Just this week, Bill Evanina, the head of the counterintelligence unit called the National Security and Counterintelligence Center, said that not enough has been done to deal with this Chinese espionage and technology collection threat. And he basically upgraded the threat. During the Obama period, where they didn't go after this at all, now he said it's a grave threat to U.S. national security. And it's primarily in this economic sphere that they're going after our secrets, as well as military technology as well.
So, I mean, given that the Chinese economy is about to surpass America's in size, assuming it hasn't already, they are obviously our main rival on the world stage. Why didn't the Obama administration for 8 years respond to what is clearly the preeminent threat we face?
Well, it's the same thing with the Russia probe, too. They knew about the Russia interference going back to 2015 and did nothing. So basically, it's been a passive approach. They rely on just diplomatic niceties, and they basically ignored this growing intelligence threat that, as you said, is the massive amounts have been totaled between 200 billion and 600 billion annually in our most cutting-edge technologies.
Well, you would think that American industry, from whom this data is being stolen, would be complaining in public, but they're not.
No, they're not. There was a meeting last year with a lot of the tech chiefs with Trump in the White House, and basically all of them said, you've got to do something to cut off this Chinese theft of technology. They're just pillaging everything that the Silicon Valley has, and there's been literally nothing done to try and stop that.
It's absolutely terrifying. Very quickly, do you think, almost a rhetorical question, but the relentless focus on Russia hacking our election, whatever that means, does that detract from our awareness and our ability to respond to China?
Absolutely. I mean, Russia does pose a threat, but it's a different level of a threat. I mean, all you have to do is look at the two economies. The Russian economy is 7 times smaller than the Chinese economy. So they're not as great a threat as China. And so it's really important that the United States government take action to stop Chinese espionage.
Yeah, like tonight. Bill Gertz, thank you. You've been reporting on this for longer than most people have been paying attention, that's for sure. Appreciate it.
Thank you.